in to the special edition of this Longhorn Livestream on Halloween here at the University Co-op. I'm Bobby Burton. Rod Babers is in the middle. If in case you can't tell, he's got his mask on for Halloween. Then Jerry Kirby Smart Hamilton at the end there. We've got about you're getting it. We're going to talk a little Longhorn football today. Go over our predictions. We got everybody's prediction in already for this week. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a little scheme and what we're hearing behind the scenes right now. Pete Thamel releasing a report less than 30 minutes ago saying that he believes that Arch Manning is a very real possibility to start tomorrow. That's big news, obviously, here in Longhorn world. And then we're also going to talk about some things going on with Vanderbilt as well. But before we do that, we want to say thank you to our sponsor each and every Friday's live stream, brought to you by our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 grams of carbs, and only 4% ABV. Beer, flavored beer. This beer, the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. That's Garage Beer, no gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. It's beer, flavored beer. Guys, I got to ask y'all, we're here at the Co-op. A lot of people here. Obviously, first home game in 42 days. It should be a really interesting game tomorrow. Just high-pointing it right now on this Arch Manning stuff and Michael Taft. You've been in a game, Rod, where you don't know if your quarterback's going to play.
Yeah.
What is the thought process on that for a team, from a team perspective, as you're looking at it?
Yeah, you want in that situation, if you're going to lose one of your key guys, especially at the quarterback position, you want to try to play the cleanest game you can play. You want to try to play the most buttoned-up game you can play. You cannot afford penalties, cannot afford mistakes, cannot afford busted coverages on the defensive side. You want to try to play as mistake-free football as you can, because your margin for error now shrinks considerably. I mean, it is. You're talking about shrinkage. It is significant shrinkage with your margin for error in this game for Texas, especially if you haven't. It's already a very slim margin. But if you have no Arch Manning, I mean, in my opinion, you got to play not close to a perfect game, but you got to play one of your best games, if not your best game of the season. No doubt about it, to win this game.
I was talking to somebody this afternoon and on the drive from Hay City Store over to Austin. Thanks for having me out this morning, Hay City Store, by the way. There's some excitement and confidence with the team this week. There's a different excitement in the air, a different confidence in the air, especially on the offensive players. So I think these guys feel like they're starting, not to say hit their stride, but find a stride. Now we'll see if they can hit their stride.
Yeah.
But there's an excitement. There's a more confidence right now on the offense. I think if Arch plays, he plays. If not, I don't think that confidence is changing, because I think what happened, and that's not a lack of confidence in Arch, it's what happened last week, the way they won the football game.
Yeah.
I think they have a newfound confidence. I have to go out and execute. I have to build on last week's second half, but that's just what I was told, matter of fact, today.
I want to add to that. So Arch had a fantastic fourth quarter, right? We all agree. But the team had a fantastic fourth quarter, to Jerry's point. It wasn't just Arch. The defense stood up when they had to, when their back were against the wall multiple times, by the way. And Rod, I'm having a hard time right now talking to you. I've just got to say this. You just looked at me and I can't see your eyes because you have sunglasses on. I can't see your face.
I can take out the glasses. How about that?
I mean, I can't even, I'm having a hard time, man. That is a hard time.
It's hard to be serious.
We'll get to y'all's questions in a little bit. Also, we're going to have Marcus Myers join us, the former Longhorn, coming in as well. He and his teammates of the 2005 National Championship being celebrated tomorrow. You guys saw, Rod, we're seeing Bo Baker, the former Longhorn, in here earlier.
Offensive lineman.
He's lost 100 pounds. The way he told me.
Yes.
100 pounds. He looks great.
He does look great. Absolutely great. We're also going to get to our predictions. And I think we should go ahead and start off with that. Guys, we'll talk about what everybody went. I went 22-20 good guys in this one. The reason I just feel like it's going to be one of those odd scoring games. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-point conversion, safety. I've got a sneaky suspicion it's going to be a really odd scoring game. I don't think it's going to be 5 field goals by Texas or anything.
No.
But it just has the feel of that to me. And Jerry, something you mentioned actually really comes to mind. And that's, you said they just felt right. There's a different feel in the locker room.
Yeah.
when I get those kind of feels, I put weird scores up there. I think that's fine. Jerry, you went 27-20. What was your thinking?
Well, I wanted to agree with Tony Hills and Marcus Myers, first of all, in our score predictions. But we did not, there was no collusion on a score prediction. Look, I think Vanderbilt, I think Missouri, what Missouri did against Vanderbilt, Texas can replicate with better offense. As crazy as that sounds, Missouri got the QB3 in that game. But I think Texas has there's some things they can look at from the Missouri tape especially. And there's some advantages. The Texas pass rush, the Texas interior to defense. I think the Texas wide receivers, if they have time, are going to win against Missouri. I think some people have won against Vanderbilt. They've won against Vanderbilt in the secondary this year. But I think, Rod, a big part of this is the hard-headedness to run the football and help open all that up. I don't think the way they won against Mississippi State is how they're going to attack Vanderbilt. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I think you have to have some semblance of the run game. But I just like this matchup for Texas, guys. I think the Texas defensive front seven has some real pass rush opportunities against Pavia. I don't think Pavia is 100%. None of these guys are. They're all getting beat up. While Vanderbilt has size on their offensive line, let's see how athletic they really are, because Missouri made me question how athletic they truly are. And then if Vanderbilt doesn't, if their running backs can't run the football in this game, I think they have issues offensively.
Yep. Rod B, your score 23-17. You got Texas holding them to a little bit fewer points than me or Jerry.
I think Jerry's right. We talked about this on Football Theory. I like the matchup of Texas defense versus the Vandy offense. Now, Diego Pavia is just a nightmare. He can make you wrong even when the defensive call is right. Make the offensive coordinator right even when his call is wrong. He's one of those guys. But you're right about the Missouri game. That was Pavia's worst game of the season. He had his fewest completions, lowest completion percentage. He had no passing touchdowns for the first time all year. He also only had 3 designed runs. It's because they got two really good edges in Wilson and Young from Missouri, and they got a linebacker, Trotter, who's a really good player too. Texas does have those pieces. In fact, they're deeper on the edge and deeper at linebacker. So I think Texas actually can frustrate them. The key is, can you get them off schedule? They stay on schedule. That's why they're so efficient. That's why they're a top 10 third down offense. They stay on schedule consistently. One of the most efficient offenses in college football. It means you got to win on early downs to force them into predictable pass situations. You said it, Jerry. Their offensive line, pass blocking wise, is a liability. Actually, even Pro Football Focus says they're one of the 8 worst pass blocking units.
Are they worse than Texas at pass blocking?
No, probably not. But they're right down there with them, though. They're down there with them. Probably not. But they're really bad. But they have a running game. Texas doesn't.
Yeah.
Texas faced more third and longs this year than any Power 4 team, gentlemen. 70 of them. Yeah. All right. Vanderbilt's had 40 of them. So they got 5 a game. Texas facing 9 a game. So for Texas, you got to stay out of third and long, and you got to try to get Vanderbilt in third and long. You got to flip the script on in this game. That's going to be the key.
So here's the question. Why did they only have 3 QB runs with Diego Pavia last week, design runs against Missouri? Is he really more banged up than we know?
I do think he's banged up.
That's interesting.
I mean,
you're right.
And you can be banged. This is what I talked about in this morning's article on Texas football, guys, is you can be banged up and not on the injury report.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, that's football. DJ Campbell's not on the injury report. He's missed time in the last 2 games with an injury, right? And so those things can happen. We'll see if that takes the ball out of Pavia's hands, because he's their focal point.
He's
right.
I like how Bobby said he's having a hard time taking you serious. If you look at Bobby,
I know. Bobby, he's got the tip outfit on.
What is this? What is he?
I don't know. We established what Bobby actually is.
He looks like a failed Olympic skier.
Have you not seen SEC shorts?
I have seen SEC.
Okay,
for those who are watching who may not know.
Okay, it is the Vandy guy that comes to life after they beat Alabama last year. He comes up and it's their swag man.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Those glasses make you look like a failed Olympic skier.
Great,
it is. That is
I can just see myself
one of the young kids who went by, they noticed it. It was like, hey, he's the Vandy guy.
Yeah.
So the young kids, no, it's for the young kids.
Yeah, I'm young at heart.
Just knew right away what that was.
I always say age is only a number. Age is only a number. Hey, we're
Diego
here.
Pavia knows that. He's like 27.
We are here at the University Co-op. We're going to get to your questions and comments here momentarily. But first, Rod, one of our very big sponsors is the Co-op, as well as the folks over at 40 Acres Collection. Jeff Clark and those guys do a great job for us and for folks in Longhorn Nation.
This is actually, I've been waiting for fall so I can wear my 40 Acres jacket here. I've been waiting for it. It's been too hot, but it's great. I love it. I love my 40 Acres apparel. I've been waiting for a long time, guys. It is my go-to game day gear. Should be yours as well. So thanks to our sponsor today, University of Texas Co-op, where we are right now, and 40 Acres Apparel. University of Texas Co-op is a nonprofit that has been serving the Longhorn community since 1896. Every penny of profit directly benefits course material scholarships. In fact, over 9,000 students will receive course material scholarships this academic year. 40 Acres Apparel was also born inside DKR, designed and built exclusively for Longhorn Nation and the University of Texas. Go down to University of Texas Co-op, where we are right now, and you can actually find some of this great apparel, the 40 Acres Apparel. Go to universitytexascoop.com and get geared up with 40 Acres Apparel. Great designs, fashionable, high quality, SPF 50, moisture wicking. It is a fantastic product. It looks great and it feels great, and you'll feel great wearing it. 40 Acres, also a proud sponsor of the course material scholarships for the University of Texas.
Small fact that they told me today, I was visiting some of the property around the University Co-op before that with the president and CEO here, and they told me 25,000 people will walk through this door this weekend.
Wow.
25
this weekend?
This weekend. A college football weekend for them. Unbelievable.
I heard her say that. I thought she meant the whole season.
Oh no.
This weekend.
From Friday to Sunday.
For Vandy.
For just about any game.
That's their thing.
That's their thing. It's an amazing total.
Massive.
Very cool that they do that and have so many people. It's kind of a meeting point for people who are just getting into town.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Everybody
easy
knows
place.
what Co-op is.
They have and for people that come out, they also have a happy hour here that's kind of on the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad way to spend your Friday afternoon as well. Is getting some gear.
This ain't your mama's Co-op.
This is not. We talked about that. I mean, this place used to be books.
It used to
and
be
maybe
just students coming in for books.
Books and 5 T-shirts.
And
maybe a hat.
This wasn't part of your official visit like it is.
No, exactly.
Like now they bring the athletes in. When you came through, they're like, hey, I want to go get some gear. Don't worry about it. You and your parents can go on the way out of town.
Hey, Bid Tarnowski says, say hi to Davis and Nicole in the crowd for me. Davis and Nicole. I don't
Davis
know.
and Nicole.
Are you there? There you
Good.
Nice. Look, we talked about this game and what it means. What do we think about Sark's comment to ESPN just moments ago? It's looking positive for Arch Manning's return. I mean, is that I was asked before we went on air, is that gamesmanship? And you know what? I don't know. And so maybe it is gamesmanship and maybe it's not. But if it is, it has the same effect on a Vanderbilt team, does it not? I mean, they don't know who they're going to see tomorrow.
Didn't Fluff Bothwell come out in pads last game?
Yes, he did.
And didn't play at all. Coaches will take gamesmanship down to the wire. You know that, Bobby. So I think it could be either. It could be actually progressing toward playing, or this could be Sark making sure that Vanderbilt wastes every possible second preparing for 2 quarterbacks, which means you're going to be less prepared for 1.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it is. But if he plays, I feel good about Texas' chances. If he doesn't, I think it's kind of a 50-50 shot about Texas winning the game. He doesn't play.
All right. Other questions here. Michael Taft is still on the questionable list as well. We know he's been practicing in a green jersey all week. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
He's delivering goodies?
Wait.
What's that?
Come here, Scott. Come on
Whoa.
over here. You can come on here. Oh, no.
Santa Claus around here. I like
Scott
that
Hudson.
shirt too.
Hey.
Shirt's nice.
Cole's dad. Y'all be good.
Oh,
Cole Hudson's dad there coming in and saying hi to everybody. Hey, what I was going to say. Oh, wait. Fight. All right. What I'm getting at with Michael Taft in the green jersey through and all this week, he's trying to come back. You've also got Arch Manning trying to come back. Cole Hudson was listed as probable last night. So obviously he's likely to be available tomorrow as long as he suffered no setbacks today or tomorrow morning. My question on Cole Hudson is, where does he play? And I'll say this. I mean, don't forget, he spent his first 3 years at the University of Texas at offensive guard.
Yeah. Started all season at left guard his freshman year.
Yeah, and so he could kick back out to guard and have Connor Robertson stay at center if that left guard position, which has been a revolving door all season, maybe they finally go to a situation where Hudson kicks out the guard and they keep Robertson at center. I guess it depends on who graded the best last week, the center and matchups. Who graded the best on at center and left guard, or out of the center and left guard last week? What do you think, Rod? I mean, that would be a different scenario or permutation, but it's certainly one that's possible.
And we've seen this team go to a different combination, right, of linemen in the game to make an adjustment. So I wouldn't doubt if that's just on the table too, that if they go out there with the group they had pretty much earlier in the season with them at center, they could also change things up if they don't like the way the offense is performing.
Rod, here's a question for you. If Michael Tapp has a soft cast on, soft club, is his communication in the back end worth that much to where it might limit him from a tackling standpoint and a making a play on the ball standpoint? Because that's what the tough thing is with that, right? Because you only have one hand if you have a soft type of club on.
I think you can still make plays on the football, especially in pass coverage. I'd be worried about him wrapping guys up in the
a guy like Diego Pavia, Cedric Alexander running at you, and you're running downhill
trying to wrap
in
guys
space.
Up, and you only got really one hand to do it. I would, if you're going to play him, keep him in the post or keep him out of the box pretty much. He can obviously – he's gonna make plays on the run game and run the alley. But I would try to keep him in the post a lot of the times instead of maybe your main run fit guy who's got to meet a running back in the hole with a club in his hand. So that's probably what I would try to do if you're gonna keep him out there.
You'll see these.
Oh, this is fantastic.
That Scott Hudson brought in. These are some replicas of Cole's jersey. You can get these. You can get these at the co-op too. By the way,
that's real.
It is. No, feel it.
That's like a real jersey.
Yeah, it is a real jersey. SEC patch on it and everything.
That's quality, right?
It is. Good stuff. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you very much. Man. All right. We're going to get to y'all's questions and comments next. Let's go ahead and get that going and start it off here with Rocky P. Rip, and this is a good note. Yeah. Rest in peace to Scott Wilson. Rod, this team traveled almost 6,000 miles in October. How hard is that on you? What's the hardest part, and how long does it take to recover from that? Hook'em and 3110 Texas. Oh, Rocky P's going big.
Yeah.
How hard is that? Hey, Jerry, let me get Marcus in here too and ask him that same question. Rod, go ahead.
I don't think I mean, there's no way I ever spent more than 2 consecutive games away from home. It's unfathomable to me to be away from home that long. So I think that's a pretty historic, unprecedented stretch for Texas. I think ultimately, and Sark talked about this, it actually brought them closer together. There's always an us against the world mentality when you're on the road, right? Got the icy whites on. There's an us against the world mentality, and to be on the road for 4 consecutive weeks, I imagine actually one of the benefits was it brought them extremely closer. And to have the type of games you had, you battled adversity. I mean, you went to 2 overtime games. You had the Texas OU game, of course, in that stretch as well. I mean, there's a lot of adversity this team had to battle. So honestly, I think they grew up in that stretch. Anytime you're away from home, a lot of parents sending their kids away from home, you grow up, right? It's all about maturity. It's all about facing adversity, handling challenges and problems on your own. Same thing for this team when they're away from home. So I think it'll be not only a pleasant, kind of a pleasant experience now being back home for these guys, but I think ultimately they grew up. And we watched it actually on the road, especially in that Mississippi State game.
Absolutely, I agree. And first, I don't want to say as well, rest in peace to Scott Wilson. He, I think anybody that came across him knew how much of a fan he was, how kind of a person he was. Cameron Rupp and I were kind of going back and forth on X, just commenting on what he was like the first time we met him. And I think that's been a universal, sentiment. So certainly, wishing his family and loved ones, our thoughts and prayers. But Rod, you nailed it. I mean, I've never been on the road that long. I don't know anybody that has that I played with. I think it's just something that you end up kind of building along the way, where you become more battle tested. And regardless of the opponent and how good or bad you want to say they were, I mean, we talked about it a number of times. They had to go into deep water multiple times, played games into overtime 2 weeks in a row on the road. And it can't be the SEC just means more And then, when they go out and do that, you try and degrade it because of, who the opponent is and what their overall record is. So I think that, they'll be better for it. And I'm excited to have them back in DKR tomorrow.
I don't mean to sidetrack the discussion, but the Scott Wilson comment made me think about that for both of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys put on the burnt orange and white. What does fan support mean? Would y'all think of the University of Texas fan support? It's certainly one of the biggest fan bases. It can be a fickle one.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about that. I'm sure y'all heard your smattering of boos through your careers at times and whatnot, except for you, Rod. Nobody ever. But my point is, what is the fandom? A guy like Scott Wilson, who literally was at every football game and every baseball game for decades, not years, decades. What does that mean for y'all? Does that give you a sense that maybe something extra's there that you need to, reach into and step down for and get into?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't take it for granted the opportunity that we were afforded to be able to put on the burnt orange. And I think, we all had a very strong sense of pride with it. And so we wouldn't be able to do the things that we were able to do without the fan support. And I think, to your point, it can be fickle at times, and I get it. And I think having been there, we certainly, can feel a little differently than otherwise. But I think it's such that it does mean that much to us. So it is kind of tough when, we hear people criticizing the guys because we know what it was like to be there. But at on the same token, we know what it was like to come back from big games and have people waiting on us and cheering and seeing us go off to games and always traveling really well on the road. So that means the world. And, that's why Coach Brown really started that, come early, stay late, be loud, or however it went, right, is because we did feed off of that. As much as we fed off of one another, I mean, there's nothing like making a big play and having the crowd at your back. So the fan support means a lot.
What Rod, you grew up in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
A fan base like the University of Texas,
Oh, man.
compared to that of the University of Houston. For an athlete, what are the advantages?
Man.
I mean, I think you and I both grew up in Houston, and so
yeah. And I remember at one point, Houston felt like an Aggie town. I'll give Mac Brown credit. I think he turned it into more of a Longhorn town. But I played in Canada, and I remember when I played in Canada, there were a couple of Longhorn fans in the stands. Because I can see them. They
burnt orange.
They burnt orange. Now, now I played with other couple of Longhorns. Cormac Cavill was on that team. But it's just, they everywhere. Even DKR said, we're everywhere. We're all over the place. So having a fan base that dedicated and committed, it means everything. I've said this before, and now it's changed because I've said, fans and players, the athletes, they're the only ones who weren't paid for their loyalty. Now that's different.
Yeah.
But think about it, still remains the same. Fans are the only ones not paid for their loyalty.
Yep.
They paid they come in here and spend money.
Yeah.
They show their loyalty.
Yeah.
They're not paid for it like a coach or like the players now. Nothing against those guys. Those guys, hey, they're paid good money and they are stewards and caretakers of the program like they're supposed to be. And it meant everything to me. But the fans, to me, they are the ones who make the real sacrifice and commitment. Right? Because everybody else now gets benefits from their loyalty to the program. But we didn't, Marcus and I. We didn't get that many benefits from it. But we
take some reparations.
Bleed, But bleeding the sweat and the tears and all the blood that was shed for this program, it means everything to me. It'll be on my tombstone, just like it'll be on Scott Wilson's tombstone. And I love that his sister, she posted that she sang the eyes of Texas as he passed.
Yeah.
That's you don't get more dedicated and love than that. She wanted to make sure the last things that he heard was things that he loved the most. And he loved the University of Texas. Everybody knew that. So I think it's an example for everybody. You want to show how much you love the University of Texas and show your loyalty. He's the standard, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe he's the standard for all fans. Like, that's the standard. It's like V. Watt's the standard for all players. To be great like him and all the all-time great players of Texas, Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams. Scott Williams is the fan standard.
No, he's number one fan without question. Without question. Hey, let's go back to the predictions a little bit, and then Marcus, I want to talk about the one that you made and why you made it, because we didn't hear from you at the outset there. Why did you go with your pick here, Marcus? Trying to find it here. Where is it at?
27.
27.
I didn't realize Jerry and me and T. Hills, we all have the same deal. We didn't plan it that way, I promise. None of us talked about it. I think for me, it was just the more I looked at the game, I see some matchups that I really like, on our side. of the ledger and some things I think they have the opportunity to take advantage of. And, again, we talked about them going on the road and growing while they were, going through some of those fights. And I think what, that kind of has helped me see or what I'm hoping I see is the next step of that. I think, that third quarter or fourth quarter rather, and then overtime can really be a turning force. And so, I think there's some opportunities to really limit Vanderbilt. I know you have to be, very disciplined in everything you do when they're playing, but, we talked about it some last night. And again, I heard them, talking about this morning, last week ran for 136 yards, but 80 of it came on one play. So, I don't think we've given up, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've given up a play over 40 yards this year. So, or a rush over 40 yards this year. So, and I don't believe Vanderbilt's completed a pass over that length. So, I think, there's a lot that, could be said. And I don't know, I just see us putting a few points on the board, limiting them otherwise.
We need some 3 and outs tomorrow.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking.
That would be uncharacteristic of Vanderbilt, right? They stay on the field, they convert. They're a top 10 third down team. They have long, efficient drives. So I'm with you, Bobby. Anything you can do to get them out of their comfort zone, whether it be getting them in third and long, predictable pass situations, or like you said, 3 and out and off the field, keeping their defense on the field and exposed. I'm with you. That would be out of their comfort zone.
And I will say the ultimate homer in me, if I'm just being honest, is we talk about Coach Shipley's birthday is tomorrow. He turned 65.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of the 05 boys will be on the sidelines. So
good mojo.
Y'all better be pumping those guys up now.
Should
Good
be pretty
mojo.
good.
You got to do it. All right, we're going to say thank you to a sponsor real quick. I've got a super chat coming up that I want to hear Jerry's answer to, Rod, and nobody will get better than Jerry on this one because it's asking for a wild guess, and we all know Jerry has some wild guesses.
He's a wild dude.
All right, this fall, travel is picking up. Weekend getaways, business trips, and holiday visits on everyone's schedule. But for Longhorn fans, there's one destination that stands out, Austin. Whether you're headed to town for the last big home game or to see family for the holidays, Vaughn Lane is the smartest way to get there. Step aboard and skip the stress of the airport and the grind of the highway. With terminals just minutes from your final destination, Vaughn Lane redefines comfort and convenience. Each luxury coach offers 22 first-class seats with Wi-Fi, snacks, beverages, hotel service, and on select routes, complimentary meal service, all delivered with unmatched attention to detail. You'll arrive relaxed, refreshed, and ready for kickoff or ready for family time. Book now at vaughnlane.com. Save $20 off your first trip with code OTF25. Vaughn Lane, elevated regional travel, serving Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Plano, the Woodlands, even in the Southeast, Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta, and Knoxville. All right, Jerry Hammond, we need you back in here, buddy. And I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to get your answer to this. Because, here we go. Take a wild guess. Who do you think LSU will hire? Who do you think LSU will hire, Jerry?
I think Lane's going to take Florida over LSU, and that leaves LSU in a precarious position. I know it won't be Lincoln Riley. That I do know, because that guy ran west instead of going to the SEC. Man, that's a really tough question.
Especially after John Summerall just got his butt beat yesterday by Jeff Traylor. The Tulane coach got beat by you.
That was going to be my thought, but you're right. They got drilled.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's some concern. It's a great job.
What about Willie Fritz?
In the NIL era, I don't think he's a good fit. I don't think he's an interview. I don't think he can. They need somebody that feels like a Louisiana LSU fit that can win the press conference, because Brian Kelly was the opposite. John Summerall, I don't think that's not going to get the fan base fired up. I'm trying to think if there's anybody out there that, I mean, Kenny Dillingham wouldn't take that job. I mean, the best hire they can make is Dan Lanning, but would he take the job? Probably not.
I don't know. Y'all, what about you, Mark?
It gets tougher after the governor came out and said, like, whatever the next contract is going to be pennies compared to the last one.
Here's a crazy one. You want a crazy one?
That's not
bad. Joe Brady. I mean, I think Joe Brady could easily end up the coach there.
That's interesting. That's not bad.
Oh, that would be a good hire.
You don't have to pay him as much as the others.
The buyout wouldn't be as much because he doesn't have one right now, and with the Buffalo Bills.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's good. I like that.
You know,
like
there's
that.
some thought he might be the guy at Penn State too.
Yeah, do they go somebody without the head coaching experience? I mean, it's a tough one, man. I mean, that's actually they're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah.
They really are.
They have like interim everything. It's like provost, AD, coach,
President.
It's a lot.
It's one after another.
Yeah. It won't be Nick Saban.
No. What?
That's a great question. I actually don't have a crazy wild answer for that one right now.
It's a tough one.
What's Kurt Signetti's buyout? They're not going to pay him.
No, they can't get
Hey,
him.
Jerry, one more.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
This is Alan McAdam. Pavia's ability to escape the pocket is real.
It is.
Rushers just need to contain and not over pursue with bad angles. I mean, do we all agree with that may be the key, just keeping him in the pocket? It's got to be more to beating Vanderbilt than that, though. Otherwise, they wouldn't have just lost one game to this.
My thing with Diego Pavia is make him change direction. That's my thing with him. Look, he's like a running back that sees the backside escape route and he's out. What I want to do is I want to make him change direction twice because he's not the lateral athlete some people are. I think he's a tough guy. I think he's got really good vision. But if it's me, I'm making him move as much as I can in different directions. So I think there's got to be pass rush integrity. But at the same time, the biggest thing for me with Diego Pavia is getting hits on him because he's not 100%. Rod, you hit on something that makes $1,000,000% sense that we just kind of talked about. They only ran him 3 times for a reason last week.
3 design runs.
Yep.
That would not be normal in that type of game, especially with edges that get up the field like Missouri does.
No, I agree with that. I think the reason you want to keep him in the pocket is because he's not a great passer. I think he's 69th in completion percentage over in 10+ yard passes, and he's 83rd on completion percentage, 15+ yard passes. Keep him in the pocket, get him in predictable pass situations, 3rd and long, and keep him in the pocket and squeeze the pocket. Because in the pocket, at least I know where he is. He gets out of that damn pocket, and then you got scramble drill.
Right.
And nobody defends scramble drill well. Nobody, guys. That's why Arch Manning is averaging over 10 yards per play on scramble drill. Because there's nobody out there that defends it well. So you don't want him in the scramble drill mode. He's got an NFL tight end to throw to. He's got guys that nobody can cover more than 5-6 seconds. You want to keep him in the pocket because at least he's more predictable there. That's why I think they want to do it. But it is a pain to do it because I talked to Alex Okafor about this. He said the defensive lineman, you can't tee off on a Pavia because you have to be constantly worried about, do I have pass rush integrity? Am I keeping contained? So you can't tee off on him. You almost forces a defensive lineman to think, which obviously makes you slower as a player.
You can't peek, right? You have to do the same thing every single time
time.
Make sure that you're staying with your assignment because they'll make you pay if you don't.
Another thing with Pavia, high hands. If you can't get to the quarterback, have high hands.
Shorter guy.
Because he is 5'10".
Yeah.
I like that.
High hands.
He may be 5'10".
Maybe.
Having
He
met
walked
him
by
in-
us as SEC
really?
media today,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, that's kind. 5'10".
He's like Earl Thomas's 5'10".
Oh, that's 5'8".
If you can't, like, Ethan Burke's
That's not
length, Ethan Burke's length can
Yeah.
cause issues if you can't get to him.
Lance Jackson.
Lance
Lance Jackson,
Yep.
high hands is big. Even interior guys, high hands.
I
All right,
like
we
that.
always do this on
Sure.
Fridays. We always ask who we think might have a standout game that's kind of under the radar.
Mm.
Y'all have anybody? What are you thinking?
Standout game under the radar. That's
I mean,
good.
RW is saying big game from DeAndre Moore tomorrow.
Love it.
He had a
Great
big one
time
last.
for it.
He had
I
a big
love
one
all
last
the
time.
Yeah. What do you Niblet? Obviously, we can always go that, but I mean,
Really?
in the last 3 games,
Right?
Keep kicking to that guy.
This is finally the game they're not going to kick it to Niblet, or they're not going to kick it out of bounds or anything, but they're not going to give him a chance.
I'm gonna go with a guy. I don't know if he's underrated or not, but Anthony Smith could have a big game because you've been attacked
Yes.
by tight ends a lot
Yes.
the last
Yeah.
2 weeks. 19 targets, 14 receptions, 9 first downs, 2 touchdowns by just tight ends alone the last 2 weeks. He's probably your best coverage player at the tight end position, and that's who they're attacking. Tight end depth, they're attacking at intermediate level. They got one of the best tight ends in the country. Actually, one of the best tight end combinations in the country. Anthony Smith might be your best answer in terms of coverage against tight ends on the linebacker from the linebacker group in this game. So he could have a big game.
I'll flip over offensively. Give me a Jack Injuries touchdown.
Speaking of tight
You
end,
know, like there's been a lot of talk about the receivers.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, they-
excuse me, aired it out quite a bit, and I think people are forgetting that he's been open and gotten open a number of times. And, we had some issues getting him the ball, but I don't think it's been an issue of his talent. I think it's just been a matter of getting him incorporated. And I think tomorrow will be a great time for him.
What's a big game? Okay, it doesn't have to be statistically right. I'm actually going CJ Baxter with about 75 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
I like it.
Big moments, huh?
He needs to in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like
The red zone back they've been lacking pretty much all year.
Yeah.
If he has 75 yards, Texas is averaging 76 yards rushing per game in SEC play.
Yeah.
So if he has 75 yards, that's huge.
And I know people were talking about, him being on a pitch count last game. Typically if guys are really banged up and they're concerned about him, you don't see him at media day, and he was there on Monday. So, that gives me, some hope that they're ready to kind of unleash him a little bit more and get after it. So
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Absolutely. I love the pick. Ty Anthony Smith, good one as well. DeAndre Moore, Jerry likes that matchup. I agree. As y'all talk about Cedric Baxter kind of pounding it, if he has success pounding it, then I think Trey Weiser is going to have some success on the outside run game too. You know what I mean? Those two could play off of each other really well. But it's not like he's an unsung hero, though. He's the lead running back. But someone I'm thinking of is something like that for the Longhorns as well. All right, we're here at the University Co-op, guys. Excited to be here. It is a special one, Halloween Friday.
Yes,
everybody dressed up today. A lot of people coming in and out this weekend of the Co-op. Make sure you guys check it out. Not only the 40 Acres collection that we have behind us, but the entire Co-op store. Also, make sure you check out online, universitycoop.com. Guys, we're talking about this today. Here's a good question from Justin. He's asking for what are y'all's players of the game, not just the unsung one, but the actual player of the game. Is it Arch Manning? If Arch Manning goes, wouldn't that be the storybook of storybooks? If he follows up that effort that he had against Mississippi State.
Yeah, if he goes, it's going to have to be him. Unfortunately, that's part of the problem, honestly, is that it's got to be him. Because they don't have many layers to the offense. That's part of the problem.
It's not unlike Vanderbilt with Pavia.
Unfortunately, I think
they have the tight end.
Yeah.
But
it still revolves around him.
I'll take Anthony Hill.
Oh, there you go.
I like that.
He's really been coming on recently. Had a monster game last week. I don't see why he can't do the same at home.
Good stuff, Marcus.
Yeah.
Jerry, what do you think?
Colin Simmons, 3 sacks.
3 sacks.
3 sacks.
They've only given up like 7. How
Yeah.
many have they given up?
Take it to 10.
Yeah. Colin Simmons, big day.
Wow.
I don't think tackles can handle him. Big day.
You don't think their tackles can handle him at all?
I don't either, but that's why Pavia and his scrambling ability is so important. Getting back to your pick, Marcus, Anthony Hill's a spy. He's one of the best spies in the country. You just give him that designated role.
Here's the thing about Pavia. While Pavia he's savvy and he's instinctive, he can't run away from Colin Simmons.
No.
Colin Simmons will close ground on him, as will Anthony Hill.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. We're nearing the end of this episode of On Texas Football. I want to take this time to say thank you to a bunch of fans that have joined us almost every episode or a lot of episodes. Sarah O, Marcus Mendoza, Zane Petty. Alan McCada. I'm looking all through this. Todd Lacey. Marcus, you join us a lot in the morning. Jerry, we're always on in the morning. Rod,
Family.
It's really nice to see a lot of people kind of show out and stand up and ask questions, etc. Stephen Houston's another name that we see all the time. It's just fun. And if I didn't mention your name, my apologies, but know that it is heartfelt. I don't dress up as the Vandy guy out of the niceness of my heart. I like to entertain a little bit. There's a lot of fun. Thank y'all very much again. All right, before we let y'all go, we want to say thank you to the folks over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer Light and Lime is the beer for me whenever I get out of here. Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 grams carbs, and only 4% ABV. It is beer-flavored beer. This is beer the way it should be. Cold, crisp, easy. That's Garage Beer, no gimmicks. There's Garage Beer Light and Lime with 95 calories, 3 carbs, and only 4% ABV. It's beer flavored beer. This is the one that Kelsey's doing. All right, summing up. If you just got here with us and wanted to hear it, Michael Taft and Arch Manning still questionable. Although Sark made a positive comment about Arch, saying that he is a very real possibility for tomorrow. He said that to ESPN about an hour ago now. Okay. So that's part one. We don't know about Taft, other than Taft has been practicing with a green jersey since Tuesday. We do believe Cole Hudson's going to make it into the starting lineup. We just don't know whether it's at center or guard. So he'll be back. All right, that's catching everybody up on major injuries. Yep. Now I ask y'all this. Final thoughts on this game and how you see it playing out in your mind's eye tomorrow.
Look, I think Vanderbilt's going to bring incredible energy early in this game. But what I was told today really rang true with me, that this Texas team probably has the most bounce in their step and confidence they have all season. And so this is going to be a high-energy game, high-octane energy game from the start. And Diego Pavi and that team are going to come out like cage fighters. He likes to fight guy, call him UFC quarterback. That's going to happen. But I do think as this game moves along, that Texas talent, their speed, is going to be something that's going to be similar to what Vanderbilt faced at Alabama.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Texas is going to win 30-14. I said 27-20. I don't think Texas is playing as well as Alabama. But I do think there's going to be some similarities there. And the one key I'm looking for Texas defense, like Marcus said, we mentioned earlier this week on the show, they had the running backs had 13 carries for 33 yards outside the 80-yard run. If we look up tomorrow at about 3 o'clock and the Vanderbilt running backs had 13 carries for 35 yards, Texas wins this football game. That's putting too much on Pavi on the road. He's got to have help tomorrow against this defense, against this speed.
Yeah, he's good at hero ball, but if he's not going to beat Texas playing hero ball.
No.
He's going to need some help from his friend. So I agree with you on that. If you can force him to play hero ball, Texas has a really good shot to win. I think Texas got a great game plan from Missouri, honestly. It's kind of gifted a great game plan from Missouri defensively against them. I think he also, like you said, could be dealing with a little bit of an injury. I think everybody's got that this time of year. But I think Texas has the edges and the spies to be able to corral him in the scramble drill, which is what I worry about most. And I wouldn't be surprised early on if Texas just stacks the box against them early on first down and say, hey, if you want to beat us on the outside with the one-on-ones, and you want to throw the football and be that popular, go right ahead. I would almost dare him do that because that's not his strength. That's his weakness as a player. And their offensive line is not a great pass blocking unit. They're a great run blocking unit. So I think on first down, I would dare him. Come on. You want to throw it? Throw it out there. It's out there for you because that would get them off schedule. You get them in a 2nd and 10, they're already off schedule as an offense. And that's what you want to do. Get them off schedule, get them in 3rd and long situations. So I like the game. I like the defensive matchup here for Texas.
Yeah.
Can Texas run the ball against this Vanderbilt running rush defense? That I'm not sure about. That's why they're going to definitely need Arch. Because to me, he's kind of instant offense for them and has been all season long, even when they don't have balance. And I don't know if they're going to have it in this game either.
You know what game this is kind of feels like to me? And the season it feels like to me right now is 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I say that, and Texas had a more veteran quarterback that season. It was a second-year Quinn Ewers, right? But as much as that Kentucky game reminded me of the U of H game, where Texas just got out early and then Kentucky or U of H was continually getting back in.
Yeah.
And then Texas finally had the goal line stand at the end to win.
Great.
This game, it feels like a K-State game where they had the upperclassman quarterback in that game, Will Howard, right?
Yep.
They had the older team. The more Texas was going in there with Malik Murphy as a starter. And I don't know why, but I felt like Texas was going to win that game, and I didn't have a reason. And I don't have a reason for tomorrow. I mean, in all seriousness, on paper, Diego Pavi is the best player in this game, right? Most impactful, but we'll see how that goes.
I want to say this.
Yeah.
Don't let this game come down to Vanderbilt kicker with a field goal to win it. That guy's as good as there is in the country.
Okay.
Do not. I mean, that guy hit 57 last year. He's hit 51 this year. He is 25 of 28 in 1.5 years as a kicker in college football. 25 of 28. The guy's going to be an NFL kicker. Do not put it in his hands at the end of the game if you're tackling.
On his feet, not his
Oh,
hands. Good stuff. Hey, by the way, I didn't mention everybody. Ted Apari, Daniel Honorado is always in here. Burn Orange Horn.
Somebody named
Jared. Jenny Burton's in there. RW.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go through it. I mentioned Burn Orange, didn't I?
Mhm.
Curtis Heiser. Too broke to pay attention.
Todd
Bisco Diaz. Todd. I mean, there's just so many. All right, guys, that's going to do it. This is the first time we've been in co-op in 42 days.
Too long.
Too long. Hopefully the Longhorns and fans show up tomorrow for our Longhorns and give them the boost that they need. Marcus, hopefully your 2005 group gets on the sideline, pumps them up a little bit too.
Yeah.
We'll be here for the victory. I won't be wearing the costume tomorrow at the tailgate, but please feel free to come join us. Also, we have our list of programming tomorrow that's pretty extensive. We start tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Saturday Conversation. Jerry, myself, Rod B. We're going to be there. That's brought to you by our friends over at Tito's. Then we have the Texas Tailgate, 9 a.m. Jeff Howe leading the way. 11 o'clock is the Watch with Us, Vaughn Lane and those folks. Then the post game immediately following. Hopefully we are talking about a Longhorn victory. The spread is 2.5 for the Horns. It went up to 3.5 this morning. What's it doing now that Sark's talking about Arch Manning playing? I guess we're going to have to hang up and listen and figure that one out. All right, for Jerry Hamilton, Rod Babers, Marcus Myers, I'm Bobby Burton, as well as our elite producer, Matt Hutchison, who is not wearing a costume today.
No.
You guys.
I'm going to go drive around Austin in this outfit and see if I get profiled.
What referee gets you?
See if I get pulled over.
You might get egged.
We know you were going to go 37 over the limit.
Oh, wow, because you're the Georgia coach.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting it. Now I'm getting it. All right.
Yeah, come on now.
You guys have a good one. Hook 'em horns. We'll see y'all tomorrow.